Steve Runco. So I'm going to kind of bring back with that zoning officer that came. I sent you an email. I sent you an email about it. You responded. You ignored it. So I wanted to file a complaint against the zoning officer. He came to my house. He was dressed in a shirt that said Sayreville zoning. Told me to remove my political sign in front of my house, which is on private property. Told me he can't be more than 30 days prior to the election. I told him it's my First Amendment protected right to put it up. He said that the government has a right to restrict when I put up signs, but there's a Supreme Court ruling, Gilbert versus, I forget the name of it, or Reed versus Township of Guilford, which said that it negates all the different ordinances that are out there. I see that you guys have ordinances here. I sent you guys that email a while ago, but you're not taking out that ordinance that's been already ruled unconstitutional. He told me that he had an anonymous complaint. You can't do anonymous complaints. I openly requested the complaints. There are none. So he was pretty much just driving around the neighborhood looking for different things. Not in the code enforcement truck, which he's never signed out. And that mileage log is kind of ridiculous because all it puts in there is mileage instead of who's taking it, what day, what time. There's really nothing to that log, because I asked for a log as well. I asked him to show me in the First Amendment where it states I can't put a political sign up. He said, oh, I'll go get the ordinance. Comes back and says, I don't have to show you anything. He parked on the side of Manalapan Road, which was pretty dangerous. And here's the pictures of it, where he's parked on the side of the road. Here's him in a Sayreville shirt, which I don't know why he's wearing a Sayreville shirt and driving around town issuing tickets. So supposedly his time is 4:15 to 5 p.m. Tuesday and Wednesdays, and there's no accountability, there's no sign-in, he doesn't do ordinance, he doesn't do summonses, because I asked for summonses from January 1st until October 4th. He doesn't write summonses. So you have a dilapidated house, no summonses issued. I asked for pictures that he's taken, so he's not driving around town taking pictures of different zoning infractions or whatever the case is. What's this guy do? Besides going around town trying to intimidate people. As a registered Democrat, I put up a Republican sign, and all of a sudden he shows up at my house within hours of putting it up. So I made a few phone calls that day. I called over to Sayreville. They said that it's not their issue because it's over here, yet he's got a Sayreville shirt on. So what is he enforcing? Is he enforcing other laws that became unconstitutional? Are we looking at the books? Are we not taking things out that are ruled unconstitutional? So he did call. He didn't do an apology. He also recorded that phone call. So I asked for all recorded phone calls that he's made. There was one, mine. So discrimination again. So anytime that you deal with us, you record phone calls, you do this, you do that, you send things to the attorneys, but nobody else gets that. So that is 100% discrimination textbook. So I told him he had a duty to bring it to the council to let them know that it's unconstitutional. He said he doesn't do that. That's not his problem. So now you have a liability issue that he's not letting anybody know that it was ruled unconstitutional and it needs to be taken off the books. I had to do that with the email. So that ordinance should be dissolved. It should have already been in the paperwork here. So he didn't do any of that. He didn't take pictures of anybody else's stuff. So next topic. So one of the open requests that I did was, it was right at the last meeting, I asked for the FEMA approvals, and I asked for DOT grants. You stated before that we had grants, and there was nothing responsive. Actually, it was said that it was a deficient request. So I asked for all FEMA approvals and all DOT grants issued or applications. The request was closed, even though supposedly it was, I guess, clarification. So they just closed it out. I responded the same day, and my request is very specific of what I wanted. To quote, a copy of all DOT grants issued or applications from 2013 to September 13th of 2019. You said we do it every year, but there's nothing responsive. That's a very specific request. And you guys cited all these different court cases. The court case to cite is actually Ronco versus Jackson. It's case law. So you're totally wrong on that. And my response is just totally ignored. I also asked for all FEMA approvals. Jose said he'll show me them, but my request was pretty much denied because nothing responsive. It's a deficient request, yet it's very specific, a specific time frame, specific documents that you guys brought up last time. So I don't know what's going on here. So are we going to be removing that ordinance?
No, Steve, no.
So it's been ruled unconstitutional. Reed versus the Township of Gilbert, and you're refusing to remove that ordinance. So everybody that looks at that, when they look up on the code, is now violating their civil rights.
I'm not an attorney, Steve. I've said that in the past.
It's unconstitutional.
Steve, I have it. Do you have a copy of the court case, the Supreme Court case?
I read it. I read the court case.
So, once again, this is only my interpretation. But Chief Justice Alito states, rules imposing time restrictions on sign advertising a one-time event. Rules of this nature do not discriminate based on topic or subject. Do not discriminate for time restraints.
It has nothing to do with time.
That's what our ordinance is. You can have a sign, it doesn't matter what's on the content of that sign. The sign only can be up 30 days before the event and needs to come down 10 days after.
You can't do that. That's against the content. So if I can put up a sign that says I love God, you can't do anything about that, but I put up a political sign, it has to be time constraint, you're totally wrong. Totally wrong. So I have a dump ed sign up, and I can have that up 100% all year long, and it's going to stay up all year long. And now so is the other one, and I'm getting a bigger one, so that'll stay up even after the election. So I hope you guys give me a summons, because that court case already proves it. You can't restrict based on content.
We're not questioning the content, Steve. We're not. It's the timing.
I can have it up all year long. Can I have a sign up that says I love God all year long?
I can't speak. I'm speaking of political signs and how I interpret it.
Content. There you go. You just proved my
It's
point.
a one-time event. That's what
You just proved my point. So if I have a flag that says Trump 2020, you can give me a ticket for that? Because that's not for a long time.
Political signs defined as signs designated to influence the outcome of an election. That's right in the court case also.
Okay, so Trump 2020, you can give me a ticket for that?
If it's up within the 30 days of the election, no.
Oh my God. I want you to give me a ticket.
Steve, sit down.
Yeah, I want you to give me some.
With all due respect, I don't know why you're interpreting the law. That's what we have attorneys for, okay? So I don't know why you're interpreting it in any way, shape, or form, okay? We actually called an attorney. The code enforcer actually went to the attorney and came back and told us he's not issuing us a summons because you can't do that. You have to read the entire court case and you have to speak to an attorney. That's what we have attorneys for. So I don't know why, I don't understand why it is that everybody here is going to continue to challenge us, because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. The same thing that happened in Helmet. I'm going to go to my attorney, we're going to get a lawsuit together, and I'm going to go after the town for discrimination, just like I did in Helmet. And they just settled that lawsuit. So I would seriously think about what you're doing before you decide you're going to keep on challenging us and keep sending these people to our homes. I'm not going to tolerate it. The next time the guy comes onto my property, I'm going to physically remove him myself. That's my property. I own it. I own it. I own it. Keep challenging.